And here we go again, after a soul-soothing rest in the magical valley of Mù Cang Chải, here at the Pu Nu guest house. The engine hums beneath us while the morning mist still clings to the valley floor as we begin a new day of exploration. Are you also ready to chase the echoes of yesterday's epic ride? A journey where we rode from the quiet streets of Phu Yen City, all the way through the cultural heart of Nghĩa Lộ, to the golden folds of Tu Lues rice fields, and then over the cloud-swept Khau Phạ Pass, where we truly carved our path here into the legendary district of Mù Cang Chải. If yes, come along, as now the road opens once again and leading us deeper into the valley of Mù Cang Chải, which nestled deep within the Hong Lin Sun mountain range. Here the ancient traditions breathe through the terraced hills, where nature and memory converge, and where every turn reveals a new story waiting to be told. So, if you too are drawn to the call of wild horizons and untold journeys, sit back, relax, and come with us, riding along into another world, a sphere where the rules of modern life fade, waning into the valley's own rhythm, one which is shaped by its nature and time-tested ancestral wisdom, a sagacity that was passed down by the village elders through countless generations. Here we arrive at the new monument located at the bend in the QL32 road near the rice terraces of Mui Gia. It is a pillar honoring the legendary rice fields of this valley. The steel rises from the roadside like a sentinel carved from the land itself, not flashy, not towering, but unmistakably proud. This is not just a marker, it is a declaration and a statement that stands at the threshold of Mù Cang Chai's legendary rice terraces, the thousands of agricultural decks that has been sculpted over hundreds of generations by the Hmong people, who transformed these steep, unforgiving slopes into golden stairways of grain. The monument's design echoes those terraces, layered, angular, and deliberate, and is a tribute to human grit and harmony that goes hand in hand with the rhythm of nature. This here is also the place where tour vans pull over and riders stretch their legs, snap photos, and gaze out over the valley and beyond. It is the monument where the story begins, because once we pass this marker, we are no longer just sightseeing, we are actually entering a living canvas, a moving tapestry where every curve of the land tells us a story of survival, ingenuity, and seasonal rhythm that shaped the land and its people. In fact, this monument is the handshake of the journey itself. It is a quiet but firm welcome, and a reminder that this land was not built for showing off, but it was crafted for sustaining the livelihoods and the survival of the indigenous ethnic groups that is calling this region their home. The proof lies in our overhead shots, seeing the valley and the hills blazing in gold now, or during the rainy season it turns into a lush green El Dorado. And here ahead of us at the Garia Mù Cang Chải Resort, perched at 1,000 meters above sea level and nestled atop the velvet-draped hill here in the heart of northern Vietnam. The Garia Mù Cang Chải Resort by Banyan Tree rises like a quiet symphony of nature and design, and orchestrating a new chapter in ecotourism here in this valley. It is surrounded by trees that shift in hue with the seasons, from deep emerald to dusky crimson, and that makes this resort feels less like a structure and more like a living extension of the valley itself. Its bamboo architecture and Hmong-inspired textiles echo the rhythms of the land, while panoramic terraces offer sweeping views of the legendary rice terraces that ripple like golden waves across the horizon. This sanctuary draws a discerning clientele, such as wellness seekers, cultural pilgrims, and global creatives, who crave immersion over indulgence, and authenticity over artifice. This mountain resort is more than a retreat, as the guerrilla is a regenerative force by sourcing local produce, employing ethnic artisans, and reinvesting in community-led initiatives that preserve both heritage and habitat. And in doing so, it does not just elevate Mù Cang Chải, but it entwines itself into the valley's economic lifeblood, transforming tourism into a shared story of resilience, beauty, and belongings. Coming back to the rice terraces here, it is also interesting to know that the valley of Mù Cang Chải actually has 4 faces, and it is a landscape that transforms with the seasons, each phase revealing a completely different face of its identity. In April and May, the water pouring season begins, and the farmers flood their terraced fields with fresh mountain water, turning the valley into a giant mirror. The sky reflects in every pool, and the mountains shimmer in the rippling glass. I have been told that it is a surreal moment where land and sky seem to merge, and the terraces become a canvas of light by themselves. Then comes the planting season, which is from April to June, where the fields shift from silver to green as the young rice shoots take root. The valley then pulses with life, as this is also the time of hard labor, active rhythm, and endless renewal. It is the moment when the terraces begin to breathe again. By mid-September, the transformation is complete, and the golden season arrives. The rice ripens into brilliant yellow, and the hills blaze like fire under the sun. This is the harvesting time. The air is then thick with the scent of grain, and every step through the valley feels like walking through a living monument to human perseverance that is involving sustained effort and commitment. Even in winter, which is from November to March, the terraces do not sleep, as they are filled with water again, creating reflective pools that shimmer under the cold light, which makes it feel more quiet and more introspective, but not less beautiful. And so, each of the 4 seasons tells us a different chapter of the same story, one of survival, adaptation, and harmony between people and the land. Mù Cang Chải does not just change, it is actually evolving, and for those who witness all 4 faces, it is not just a journey, it is a revelation that is well worth to see and experience it by yourself.
Destination is on the left.
Riding along these rice-terraced hills, don't you also have the feeling that so far, of all the places we have traveled across Vietnam, Mù Cang Chải is really leaving an everlasting impression on us, one that is really oh so hard to put into proper words, without seeing it by ourselves. Not only is it nestled here in one of the most stunning regions of Yên Bai, but also in an area that is within the mountain range of the utterly impressive and great province of Lao Cai. But moreover, it feels like driving through a hidden chapter in Vietnam's wild and turbulent history, a storied tale that is quietly revealed by the land itself, one curve and contour at a time. Each turn seems to echo with memory, and by the time we leave, we realize the landscape has not just shown us its beauty, but it also has shared us with its truth. The terraced rice fields here are not just beautiful, they are a real living testament to generations of ingenuity and harmony with nature. Even though it is now the after-harvest season, still, the golden layers that cascading down from the hills look like something out of a dream, yet it is completely real. What is striking us most is the quiet dignity of the Hmong communities who have shaped this landscape over centuries. Their traditions, their warmth, and their connection to this land is giving us a deeper appreciation for what sustainable living truly means. While trekking through the hills, we found ourselves slowing down, breathing deeper, and noticing details we would usually have missed. Then last evening, we spent watching the sun dip behind the mountains. It was like a surreal painting that embraced everything in a glowing and beautiful amber-colored hue. And today morning, as we overlooked the valley from our guest house, the day began with a quiet transformation, with the sun rising beneath the hill with its golden light, and slowly piercing through the lingering mist that still blanket the terraced rice hills. The landscape was shifting from muted gray to warm amber, and revealing the intricate layers of the golden rice terraces carved into the mountainside. The village across the small stream that is tucked into the folds of the hills began to stir, and the soft glow was touching their rooftops, the tree canopies, and the winding paths with a gentle but beautiful clarity. It was a moment of stillness and awakening, where nature and tradition met in silence before the beginning of the day. And at around 1,000 meters above sea level, the air up here is really crisp, and the light was clean, and everything felt like freshly revealed, as if the land itself were exhaling after a long chilly night. This truly shows that Mù Cang Chải is not flashy, but it is grounding and reminding us why traveling matters so much. It is to connect, to learn, and to be humbled for a kind-hearted approach interacting with the locals here. And if you are also looking for a destination that offers the real raw beauty, the cultural depth, and the human touch with a sense of timelessness, this is the place to come, as it is not just a destination to visit, but a location to really feel.
Xin chào, hello, bye bye.
Let us talk a bit about the past when centuries ago, the Hmong people migrated to this rugged mountain land of northwest Vietnam, and seeking land where they could survive and thrive. Faced with steep terrain and limited water, they engineered terraced rice fields that turned the hillsides into the productive farmland of today. These terraces were built through communal labor and passed down through generations, becoming both a livelihood and a legacy. Over time, the fields became symbols of harmony between humans and nature, reflecting the Hmong's deep connection to the land. However, this region remained highly isolated for years, and so preserving its traditions while slowly opening to the outside world. Today, it is a different story as its golden harvest season draws travelers from around the globe, captivated by the ingenuity and beauty of a culture shaped by resilience, passion, and love for the land. And here, let me introduce you to the hidden retreat of the Pu Nu House, which is tucked away deep in the heart of the terraced rice fields in Mù Cang Chải. After looking at some other guest houses, I found this place, and it feels like a dream resort place and not like your typical guest house, because from the moment I arrived here, it felt more like a boutique resort that is carved into the valley side. The air here is nice and crisp, the views are endless, and the sound of a gentle mountain stream running through the property added a layer of calm I did not know I needed at the time of checking in. What makes this place special is not just its scenery, but also the experience you are getting here. I am staying in the uppermost cozy bungalow that comes with a private terrace overlooking the golden rice layers. There is also glamping for those who want to sleep closer to nature, and yes, a swimming pool that reflects the sky like a mirror is also here. It feels absolutely surreal to swim inside this nice pool, which is right next to the restaurant and surrounded by their own rice terraces and all the misty peaks. The staff here is warm, welcoming and very attentive, and the food, it is locally sourced, fresh, and full of flavor that is making each meal feel like a celebration. Whether you are hiking the nearby trails, soaking in the pool, or just sitting by the stream with a cup of tea or coffee, the Pu Nu House offers something rare. It is a place that is providing us a chance to slow down and feel connected to this special land. And if you are also planning to head to Mù Cang Chải, this is definitely the kind of place that turns your trip into an unforgettable memory, and which I can only highly recommend. And here are some more activities you can do while staying in this area, as Mù Cang Chải is one of those rare destinations that offers both breathtaking scenery and deep cultural immersion. A definitive must is to hike through terraced rice fields, which are some of Vietnam's most iconic ones, and which are all carved into the mountains by generations of Hmong farmers. Another must-do is visiting the villages of La Pan Tan and Che Chu Na, which are showcasing these landscapes in full seasonal transformation, like the flooded and mirror-like season in May and June, and the golden glowing periods of September and October, when this region really comes alive during the Mua Vang Harvest Festival, where traditional music, ethnic sports, and vibrant costumes celebrate the golden season. Adventure seekers will also not be disappointed, as you can participate in paragliding over these beautiful rice terraces, which is offering you with a bird's-eye view of the valley. Then there is the Khau Phạ Pass with its thrilling curves and panoramic vistas that is best enjoyed while traversing it by motorbike. For those who prefer to explore on foot, the area is rich with hiking trails that connect villages and viewpoints. Then there is the Mù Cang Chải Fair Market, which is a great stop to browse local crafts, taste regional specialties, and observe the daily local life in full Hmong motion. Beyond the fields, natural gems like Pu Nu and Mo waterfalls offer peaceful escapes surrounded by forest. Staying in authentic homestays lets you experience the rhythm of the Hmong village life while sharing meals, stories, and their unique traditions. And if you are looking for comfort without losing the connection to nature, the Pu Nu House in La Pan Tan offers the perfect resort-style amenities with bungalows, glamping tents, a swimming pool, and even a mountain stream which is running through the property. Or, if you are seeking a notch above the authentic homestay experience, consider the Garret Mù Cang Chải by Banyan Tree, an ultra-luxury retreat that blends refined comfort with traditional Hmong aesthetics. An experience that borders onto sweeping rice terraces and mist-covered mountain ridges, offering guests the uninterrupted views and a deep sense of this unique place, not just panoramic beauty, but also privileged access to a living cultural landscape that is rarely seen by outsiders.
Come on, no!
And if you are still here, thank you for joining me on this unforgettable journey through one of Vietnam's most breathtaking regions. In our upcoming episode, we leave Mù Cang Chải behind us, and tracing the quiet curves of the Tan Nguyen Valley, where morning mist clings to the rice terraces like memory itself. From there, we shall ascend into the Sun Ben Valley, where the landscape grows steeper, wilder, and more untamed with every turn. Our path will coil upward toward the legendary O Quy Ho Pass, a gateway which is Vietnam's highest and most storied mountain pass, and known locally as the Heaven's Gate. It is here that folklore whispers of a sorrowful fairy whose cries echo through the peaks, said to have given the pass its haunting name. Then, once we are beyond the summit, we shall descend into Lao Cai, where the air turns colder, the clouds draw nearer, and Sapa finally reveals itself. It is a hill town which is cradled in the Hong Linh Sun Range, where ethnic heritage and alpine beauty converge unlike any other places in Vietnam. This will not merely be a journey, no, it will be a passage between worlds, and if this is your kind of exploration too, I kindly invite you to be part of it by joining us into our next adventure of even more epic proportions.